Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Woo! I like the energy. Yes. So for those who don't know me, my name is Felipe, aka El Loco Canadiense, the crazy Canadian. As a brain coach and accelerated language teacher, if I could leave you with one piece of wisdom this evening, I wish it to be this. In my experience, one of the fastest, most efficient ways to move from meeting a total complete stranger and moving that towards a long, deep, meaningful connection, it's great oral. Come on, get your mind out of the gutter. Oral communication, languages, communicating. All right. So, for those who don't know me, I'll give you a little background to why this crazy Canadian guy has been teaching people Spanish in about 15 hours. Over 700 successfully executed lessons so far, 700 very satisfied, crazy lechugas out there. So basically, 2016, I decided that I wanted to manage a restaurant in Mexico. So I found a contact, got into a hiring process, and it was at the Thompson Hotel to be the general manager of Catch Restaurant that had just opened up. And we started off with a bunch of people, and we worked our way down to 2 people, me and one other guy. And on that final day, the general manager of the hotel sat me down and he said, "Phil, we really want to hire you. We like you, but we're going to hire the other guy." Aww. I still remember my initial reaction, my initial thought, the ego reacted, and it was like, "Fuck you, I don't want this job anyway. I don't want to move to Mexico and leave everything behind." And then I let the little ego work its course, and then I asked one simple question. "Can I ask why?" And he said, "Well, I don't know how it didn't occur to you before, but to manage a restaurant in Mexico with Mexican staff and clientele, you kind of need to speak Spanish. I don't know how you made it this far anyway." And I said, "Well, maybe we misunderstood each other. I don't speak Spanish now, but give me 3-4 weeks and I'll speak Spanish. And in the meantime, if I can't speak Spanish in 3-4 weeks, in the meantime, I'll handle all your logistical problems, and you have that time to find somebody better than him and better than me. It's a win-win." So he said, "Okay. Fuck, let's hire this crazy Canadian guy who says he can learn Spanish in a month." I didn't know if I could do it, but I figured worst case, I got a month in Mexico, fun little experience, let's do it. But luckily, I was always obsessed and passionate about accelerated learning methods for the last 17 years. It's what got me through school. I needed to get better grades. So instead of spending more time studying, which might have been the easier option at the time, I spent a lot more time learning how not to learn. Learning how to memorize and all these accelerated learning methods, brain hack, neuroscience, all this fun, boring stuff for a lot of people. But for me, it was really interesting. And all of a sudden, my grades started going up. And I started teaching it to my friends. And their grades started going up. And the teachers thought that we were cheating. We thought we were cheating. But it turns out memorizing the notes is not cheating. It's hacking the system. So I had an idea of how I was going to do it. I didn't know if it was going to be possible, but give it a try. After 3-4 weeks, I managed to pass all of their tests, and I stayed at that job for about a year and a couple of months until I finally burnt out and quit. And since then, I've been able to kind of replicate and condense all the tricks and accelerated learning methods and all the patterns that I was able to identify and kind of condense them into a 15-hour course. Which I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about. I have an online version and live 2 courses a month here in Playa. So a lot of people have told me that my methods remind them of Mr. Miyagi, because I'm having people like paint fences and like waxing my car, and then they don't know what the hell's going on, but then somehow at the end they've learned something and it's in their minds forever and they can't ever unforget it. So much so that sometimes I'll be telling somebody about my day, and at the end they'll be like, "All right, what did we learn here?" And I was just telling you about my day. But so for real though, if there's only one thing that you're gonna leave here with tonight, I want everybody to close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine in your mind a mini child version of Buddha. So he's fat Buddha, but as a little 5-year-old. Very, very playful, running around the playground, having a great time. And this little Buddha, it's sparkling like if you got the star from Mario, and he's just floating around everywhere. Like he's literally floating around. He's weightless, he's effortless. Everything is just happening. He's playing around. Everything is super easy, super fun, super effortless. And little Buddha is playing around like this. All right, now maybe you might understand why I said Mr. Miyagi style. So we're going to get back to that in a little while. You can open your eyes. So one of the most efficient ways to get information into your brain is to reformat that information, right? So it's like we've all been lifting very heavy weights with our back all of our lives because the people that have been responsible for educating us have told us that this is the most efficient way to lift weights. Turns out the legs are better. Who would have known? I mean, it's been known for a couple thousand years, but in our recent education system, for some reason, that gets skipped over. So I didn't invent all the techniques and the tools and the methods that I use. I've learned them from a lot of really smart people, and I've learned them from a lot of different books, a lot of places, and some of them go back literally thousands of years. Ancient Greece, Loci method, memory palace, a lot of these cool things. There's literally memory championships around the world where people are memorizing 4,000 or 5,000 digits, random digits in an hour. And there's people that are memorizing like 30 to 60 decks of playing cards in a couple of hours. And we're still struggling in school with a couple of dates or a couple of words to learn a new language. Yeah. Exactamente. So the goal of today is we're gonna learn some Spanish. We're gonna learn some brain hacking. We're gonna learn how to get special treatment and be remembered. We're gonna learn how to get out of trouble when we don't want to get into that trouble. We're gonna learn at the end how to avoid getting into trouble with police by trying not to have to bribe them, but also if we have to bribe them, to know how to do it in the right way, so that it's fun and not so expensive for you. So, as I said to Mr. Miyagi, I can promise you that throughout this hour and a half, you're going to feel very confused at a lot of times. You're not going to understand what the hell is going on. I ask you to keep an open mind. Roll with it. Everything that I do, every word that I say has a purpose. There is a method to the madness. So you might not see it right now, but at the end, everything will kind of connect together. So worst case, you're going to waste a night with a couple of jokes, ideally, hopefully, might be funny, and you'll have wasted an entire hour and a half of your time. Best case scenario, you'll have unlocked an entirely new skill set that you're going to be able to use every single day of your life with every single interaction you're ever going to have, and you're going to be able to learn how to unlock your brain. Who thinks that would be cool? Can I get an away boy? All right. So before we start, we're gonna go into another little story that's gonna be interesting, hopefully. So if you were given a dull axe and 4 hours to chop down a large tree, how would you spend your first hour or your first half hour? Sharpening the axe. Excelente. So we don't really understand. Some people think that it's wasting time, but it's actually much more efficient. So we're gonna see how everything kind of connects together. And once you realize how everything connects together, you're gonna have a lot of epiphanies in your life. I've had a lot of my students tell me that they've had big increases in their business, in their love lives, in their relationships, in their psychology, and different things, because everything is connected. Once I started applying this stuff to dancing, to languages, to pretty much everything that I could imagine, everything starts getting better. So the numbers connect to the Spanish connects to getting out of trouble connects to bribing cops connects to dancing, and dancing connects to memorizing things and unlocking your brain. Everything's all connected. So we're gonna do a lot of weird things, and it's all gonna connect together. So everybody close your eyes again. Now I'm gonna tell you guys a story, and I would invite you, when I tell you a story, not to try to listen to my words. My words are meaningless in a way, because what's important is the images that you are going to create in your mind's eye. Your imagination will be the key to unlocking your brain. Now, some people might say, well, I don't have a good imagination, I don't have a good brain, I don't have a good memory. Those aren't things that you have, those are things that you do. Every single day you can do imagination, you can do brain, you can do learning. You can practice this and develop it. I used to consider myself to be somebody who's very uncreative, and now people call me very creative. So it's a developed skill, and you guys could all develop it as well. So when I'm saying a story, try to bring it to life. Try to feel all of the experiences and experience all of the feelings. So in this first story, I want you to imagine that you are in Germany. If you've seen the movie Inglourious Bastards, you know that they try to kill Hitler. So I imagine that you are in Hitler's office after this movie, and imagine that they didn't manage to kill him. So Hitler is very upset, very angry. He's at his table, surrounded by all of his generals, and you're there as a spy sent from your country as a plan B to murder Hitler. So as Hitler is getting all upset, slamming his hands on the table, saying, "Nein! Nein! Nein!" Which is German for no. Nein! 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 And he's getting very upset, very angry, yelling at his generals. And now you, being responsible for plan B, reach into your pocket. Now I invite you, everybody reach your hands into your pockets. Now can you feel that miniature octopus that your government left for you to murder Hitler? Do you feel him? Little squishy, squiggly, feel those little tentacles wrapping around your fingers? Yes, so pull them out and hold them in your hand. All right, now I want you to very, very discreetly put him on the floor and send him off to murder Hitler. By the way, if anybody is easily offended, this is not the room, because there's going to be a lot of political incorrectness here. I hope you don't take offense by it. It's all part of the madness. It's all about creating an impact. So, little octopus starts squiggling and crawling across the floor and growing and mutating into a giant killer assassin octopus. And now he's grabbing Hitler by the throat. He's grabbing all the generals, and he's trying to grab you as well. You turn around, you start running away. And you remember that they gave you a tooth, a fake tooth with a pill in it. Now, they told you to bite down in case of emergency. You're hoping that it's not going to be a cyanide pill. And as you bite down, it doesn't taste like cyanide, so I think you're pretty safe. You feel some transformations happening in your limbs. So everybody keep your eyes closed and look down at your hands and feet. And your hands and feet turn into 4 tires. You've got 4 tires growing out of your limbs, and you start transforming into a transformer car, and you turn into a car, and you drive away from the octopus. Now you get the hell out of there, and you drive straight to Amsterdam, so that you can go into a brothel to call for backup or an extraction. So you pull into the first brothel, and you park, and you transform back into a human. Now you try to walk into the brothel, but all of a sudden you get stopped by a very short bouncer. He looks exactly like the famous rapper 50 Cent, but like a very vertically challenged, short version. He's also a rapper, and his rapper name is 25 cents. 25 pesos. So he's trying to block you, and everybody pick 25 cents up in your hands. Pick him up. And now with both of your hands, I want you to condense him into a quarter. So squish him into your hands until he's down to a small little 25-cent quarter. Everybody can see that? You can feel the metal quarter in your hands? Excellent. Now walk into the brothel, and there's a giant gumball machine like in the Blockbusters, right? Where you have all the gumballs and you can win some prizes. Everybody put out your hand and put the quarter into the gumball machine. Now twist the lever, crank, crank, crank. Now the ball falls down. It's not a gumball, it's a prize. So everybody pull it out. Now unroll the little piece of paper. Now it says, you have won a voucher for 69. So you all have a complimentary 69 that you can redeem in this said brothel. So everybody is very excited. Woo! Everybody run into the brothel. As you enter the brothel, you are very disappointed. There are no dancers. Aww. But there is a giant tricycle. And you know who's mounted this tricycle? Jigsaw from the Saw movie, this little puppet with the twirly red things on his cheek. He's riding a giant tricycle. This creepy, scary little puppet riding a giant tricycle, and he's very angry at you, and he's very angry at you, and he starts to chase you on his tricycle, and you run outside. You try to bite down in your teeth, but there's no more pills left. You get outside to the parking lot, and there's a big pink pickup truck with 2 unicorns in the flatbed. In the back, there's 2 unicorns in a pink truck, and you jump in. The keys are luckily in the ignition, and you manage to make your escape. So everybody's driving away, and as you look into your rearview mirror, you can see the tricycle is right behind you, driving up towards you, catching up on you. And everybody put your hand forward and push the 4x4 button. Push the 4x4 button, and now you've unlocked 4x4, 4-wheel drive, and now you get enough torque, and you are able to escape the tricycle. Any questions? All right, so in the beginning of the story, where were you, Kai? In the beginning of the story, what country are you in? Where are you sitting? What's around you?
I missed the first part.
Oh, no worries. Zion.
Kid, Buddha, sparkling.
Oh, well done. Excellent. Kid, Buddha, sparkling. He's going way back to the beginning. Great memory. Great memory. Round of applause for Zion. But fast forward to this story. In the beginning of this story, you're where?
Germany.
In Germany. And who are you around? Who's around you?
Hitler.
Hitler. And what are you yelling? Or what is Hitler yelling? 9. All right? So number 9. Number 9. Number 9. Now, when you reach into your pocket, everybody at the same time, what do you pull out of your pocket? Octopus. Octopus reminds you of number 8. Wow, what a coincidence. 9, 8. Now, as you're trying to escape the octopus, you bite down on your teeth, and what happens? Turn into a car. Look down at your limbs, and what do you see? How many tires? 4 tires. 9, 8, 4. Wow, it's getting freaky. And where do you drive to? Amsterdam. You pull up into? Brothel. And who blocks your way? 25 cents. 2.5. Wow. Another coincidence. Interesting. Isn't it great when things just kind of work out? And what do you do with that 25 cents?
Put it in a gumball.
In the gumball machine. And what do you win? 69. 6-9. Excellent. And when you run into the brothel, what do you see? Jigsaw riding a tricycle. Number 3. Wow. And when you're going outside trying to escape, you jump into a 4x4. 4. Ladies and gentlemen, you just memorized my phone number. Excelente. Probably going to receive a lot of like late night calls in jail. I only have one call. You're the only number that I have.
I remember Kid Buddha.
We will. But worst case scenario, you've got my number. Oh, you used to have my number. Perfect. I wanted that to happen. Now, who would like to tell me my phone number? 984 25 69 344. Excellent. A round of applause. Now, it's really freaky. The best way to get information into your long-term memory is to create a lot of vivid imagery and powerful emotions. When emotions are involved, good, bad, angry, positive, doesn't matter, but when powerful emotions are involved, there's literally chemicals secreted in your brain that will attach to the information, to the memories, and they're going to get stored in a very specific way, which makes them easier to access in the future, right? You're a kid, you touch a very hot fire, touch the stove or something, you're going to have a really good memory not to touch the stove again, right? Not to touch the hot fire. So, and then it's very important to do repetition, right? Because when I do my courses and I have like 10, 12 phone numbers and all your birthdays, I remember them for the weekend. If I don't use them for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, that information is gone, right? So repetition is very important as well. So reformatting, using emotions, and repetition. Now, what was the first image that we had?
Sitting around the generals.
Oh, no. Now I want the other one.
Kid Buddha.
Kid Buddha.
Shining like the star from Mars.
shining like a star from Mario. And what was he doing? In a playground, being very playful. Very, very playful baby Buddha, right? So if you can remember playful little baby Buddha, lighting up like Mario Star, floating around, everything effortless, you'll remember some very, very important principles that if you just remember that little baby Buddha into every single interaction you're ever going to have for the rest of your life, you will have much better interactions, much deeper connections, and you will just get much better treatment everywhere you go, always, right? So baby Buddha, when I think of baby Buddha, it makes me think of somebody who's very humble, right? Very, very, very humble. So approach every conversation, every interaction with your inner Buddha. Be humble. Be very playful with everything you do. Nothing, right? Life is way too serious. Damn, I messed that up. Everybody forget what I just said. All right? We're good? All right. Life is way too important to take seriously, guys. You see how that works there? I wanted that to happen. So be very, very playful, be humble, and he's floating around effortlessly. Don't try to do anything. Never try to learn languages. Never try to not get arrested. Never try to get special treatment. Never try. Just allow things to flow. Just allow things to be effortless. Just go through it and have fun and be humble. If you just remember those 3 principles, I guarantee you, you will have so much more fun in life. And everywhere you go, people remember you a lot more deeply. Now, more specifically to conversations, to interactions, like when you're meeting people, when you're trying to get out of a speeding ticket, or if you meet a waiter for the first time at your new favorite restaurant, there is another image that you might want to keep in mind. So everybody close your eyes again. Imagine a giant leaf of fresh lettuce. A giant leaf of fresh lettuce. And he's got giant ears. Giant, enormous ears protruding from his head. Like huge, huge, huge ears. So a giant leaf of lettuce with giant ears. And he's got this giant cranium. You can see his brain just bulging through his skull. And he's got like, what was that, like Megamind or something? There was like that cartoon. There's giant brain. You can just see like coming out. And it's green. And you can see the veins as well. It's kind of freaky. So a giant brain, giant ears, and a very, very, very fresh leaf of lettuce. Now that lettuce leaf will help you with every interaction in a more specific way because, or you can open your eyes. So the giant lettuce leaf, every time you start a conversation with somebody, try to be different. Try to be a original pattern interrupt, right? Every conversation, or most conversations, the world start with the same way. Hi, how are you?
Muy bien, tú.
Muy bien, gracias. And if you're like in a bit of a daze, you'll be like, I'm very good, how are you? I'm good, how are you? I'm good, how are you? Like, holy crap, how long have we been here? Right? So it's just an autopilot, nobody really cares, it's boring, it's wasting everybody's time, right? If you start every conversation with
Fresco como lechuga.
yes! Fresco como lechuga, right? How are you doing today?
Fresco como lechuga.
Yeah, fresco como lechuga. Excelente. Fresh as lettuce, right? How weird is that? Doesn't matter what language you say it in, it's hilarious. Fresco como la letu. Fresco como alface. Fresco como lechuga, right? Frisch wie salat. It's weird in every language, but it's a fun way to have a pattern interrupt, and people remember the lettuce. Right? I'm not even joking. I left Playa for about 2 years, and I came back, and I was walking with a friend, and there was literally, I mean, it was a long walk, but there was literally 2 different taxi drivers and a waiter that pointed out, like, lechuga! Or, hey, lechuga, como... And like, how does everybody know? I'm like, it's the lettuce. People never forget the lettuce. And you know what's more important than that? Nobody wants to be the jerk to take the freshness away from your lettuce. Can you imagine? You're a cop, you're having a very bad day, you're very angry, and you're like, the next foreigner that I pull over, I'm gonna make them pay. They're gonna feel my wrath. And they pull you over, and you ask them, how are you doing? And he says robotically, I'm good, and you? And you give him a big smile, and you're very playful and humble. And you know that you're untouchable. And you say, fresco como lechuga, senor. I'm telling you, he's not going to want to take the freshness away from your lettuce. You will get a pass. The next person, I wouldn't want to be the next person, right? Because they're going to get double. But not you, right? Not you. You and your lettuce will remain intact, not in jail, and hopefully with a lot of money still in your wallets. Right? You don't have to use a lechuga. That's just an example. But do something weird, something original, something that makes you stand out as being playful, as being fun, as being open-minded, and just being different. And then you're going to go back to the same restaurant, and they're going to remember you. You're going to go back to the same taxi, and they're going to say, oh yeah, precio local. Yeah, damn right. Precio local. And also precio de loco. All right, you get 2 discounts. Right? Precio, descuento de local y descuento de loco. Right? Be playful. Don't try so hard, and be humble. It's muy fácil. It's very easy. Right? So after the lettuce, what else did that lettuce have? Really big ears. Really big ears. Right? They say that there's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen to people. When people tell you their names, listen to them. When people tell you about their dogs and their kids or whatever, listen to them, right? Active listening. It's fun. You get to practice your memories. You get to practice training your brain. You get to unlock parts of your brain that you didn't know that you had access to. And at the same time, you get to connect with people. You get to understand people. You get to learn about people. You get to develop relationships with people, right? Deep connections, right? A lot of people have had a lot of interactions with the same waiter or waitress or taxi driver or person for years and years and years, and you don't even know their names. And then at one point it gets too awkward to ask. You got to bring a friend with you and then have them introduce themselves. That's what I do. But yes, listen to them and then try to make a mental note. Try to put the intention that you are going to remember that information, right? Now, don't try so hard, right? Because you're like Mario. You don't try anything. Don't try to remember. Don't try to learn. Don't try to do anything. But put an intention that it would be really cool if I could remember the names of the next, at least half the people that I meet. That would be awesome. Even if it was 1 person out of 100, that will be 1 more than 0. Yes, success, right? And if you remember people's names, I guarantee you they will remember you. I started doing the name stuff when I was 16, when I was working in a restaurant as a waiter, and I said, oh, this is a great way to train my brain so I can get better grades, and it's free because I'm already at work. And turns out, you get a lot better tips if you remember people's names too. So, I started with a table of 2, with a table of 3, with a table of 4. You would work your way up, and then you forget. And then you ask them the name a couple of times, and then, oh, sorry, I'm trying to train my brain. Tried to get your name, but, it's a work in progress. Sorry about that. And they're like, okay, cool. And you can ask them like 3 or 4 times. They don't even get mad because they're like, oh, they're fucking trying, right? Effort is much more important than the results. Unless you're like a rocket scientist or like a heart surgeon, then definitely aim for good results, please. But if you're not in an operation room, if you're not trying to fly a rocket in space, don't care about making mistakes. People are judging you based on your efforts, okay? I still remember when I went to Cuba, and I just learned a little bit of Spanish, just enough to have like a 10-second interaction, and that was enough to unlock so many doors. I would just go up to people and say, hola, ¿cómo estás? I didn't know the lechuga thing yet, so I could have improved that part, but it was okay. They said, oh, bien, y tú? And I said, bien. Soy Felipe. Soy un gringo de Canadá. Quiero aprender español. Me gusta Cuba. Quiero aprender español y quiero fiesta. That's it. Yeah. It was something along those lines, and it's crazy how everybody just like gives you special treatment. We were getting like bottles brought to us. We were getting special VIP reservations in all these different places. My friends had no idea what was going on, and they started calling me El Organizador. I didn't know what was going on either, but just by putting a little bit of effort, you don't need much Spanish, just a little bit of effort, right? You can really make a good impression on people. They don't care, right? And they'll tell, wow, your Spanish is so good. Wow, and I'm like, it's just like one sentence, one long sentence that is, my Spanish isn't good actually. But they're like, no, it's good, you're doing great. And they're trying to encourage you, they're trying to help you, right? So your effort is worth everything. That's why I said don't try to do anything, because it doesn't matter. You are going to be rewarded and you are going to be judged based on your efforts. All right? So, back to our lettuce. So listen, try to remember. We're going to see a lot of different tricks that we're going to use to reformat information. So it's important that you apply them and just see what happens, right? Of course, in the beginning I was making a lot of mistakes, but then little by little I started to be able to memorize people's names pretty well. And then I'd get to the point where I could do 20, 30 people in one night. And everybody's all very excited, very happy. And literally one guy came back a year later, because he was at a Christmas party. So he came back a year later on Christmas with his company, and he was Quebecois guy, and he was like this big guy, and he's like, hey guys, this is the waiter. He remembered all of our names. Hey, what's my name? And I look and hey, Joyeux Noël, Robert. Oh, this guy's fucking crazy. And the owner of the restaurant was standing beside me, and he's like, how the fuck did you do that? And I was like, to be honest, this big Quebecer guy, Robert, was the first name that came to mind. I don't remember him. So, try. Sometimes you get lucky, right? Just be confident with all of your answers. You never know, you might get it right. But maybe it was my intuition. I don't know. Probably not. But who knows? So, set an intention. Remember things about people. That way when you come back a month later, you could ask them how their dog was doing, because their dog was going to have a surgery. You're going to ask them how their kid's birthday went. You're going to ask them, right? You're going to, hey, how are you, John? And they're going to say, fuck, he remembers my name. I don't remember his name, but he remembers my name. And then they're going to remember your name, and then it's going to, that's just going to be better for everybody. So always listen and set an intention to remember everything. And if you remember nothing, you were already there to begin with, so, at least you tried, right? And even if you go up and you're like, hey, John, what's going on? So we see, like, oh, it's actually Robert. Oh, sorry, it's just, oops. But at least you made an intention, right? That's the important thing. Now, what else did the lettuce have? Giant brain, right? Giant brain. Work on your memory. Don't even work on your memory. Play with your memory. If you do a little bit of brain hacking, a little bit of learning every single day, which we always have the opportunity. Every time you go out, you can learn one word in Spanish or in Russian or in German. You can meet one person and remember their name, right? At work, you have a lot of things you need to learn. Why not memorize it instead? Your bank card numbers, your Visa number, when you call the bank, have that number memorized. Every single day, you can spend 5 minutes or 1 minute and not even extra time, right? Because everybody's always busy, nobody has an extra time. Use the time that you're already using for other things, just, multitask. If you're having coffee with it, learn the name. So you're gonna be maximizing the efficiency of your time, and at the same time, you're gonna be literally growing your brain, right? I mean, maybe not like this way, but like you're stimulating neurogenesis and neuroplasticity, right? So you are creating new brain cells and new connections, new synapses. So you're gonna have a much stronger, much more powerful brain, right? So always keep in mind the mini, young, playful child Buddha who's just effortlessly going through life, right? There's no struggles, not trying to do anything ever, just kind of going with the flow. And when you're having interactions with people, always remember the lettuce with the giant ears and the giant brain. You want to start the conversation off friendly and playful and fun and weird, right? You want to listen as much as possible and set an intention to remember as much information as possible from this person, and have that good memory. Be proud of that memory. Develop it. It could take a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years, but at one point, somebody's gonna call you a robot. It's happening to me a lot now. But I'm not a robot. It's just 17 years of practicing this stuff. All right. When I used to start memorizing the people's orders, their food and their drinks, I would take a table of 2 or 3 and I'd make mistakes. Right. It took time to get to be able to take a table of 20 and memorize all their orders. Right. It takes time. You will make mistakes. And again, one of the beautiful lessons that I learned in that restaurant is when I would make a mistake with their orders, which, I mean, it happened a lot in the beginning, right? I'd bring the wrong plates to the wrong person, or completely wrong food that was not ordered, right? Or cooked in the wrong way. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble. And then I would walk up to them and I'd say, you know, I'm trying to improve my brain and my memory so that I can do better in school. And I tried to memorize your order and I made a mistake and I'm so sorry. How many people got mad at me, do you think? I mean, I was in Canada, that might help, but like literally nobody got mad at me. Zero people got mad at me. I thought, oh, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get in trouble, I'm gonna get yelled at, right? Nobody cares. So make plenty of mistakes and just keep working at it, and then little by little, you're gonna notice your brain's gonna it's gonna feel bigger, but it's definitely gonna be stronger and much more powerful, all right? We're gonna do another little story that's gonna help you out, hopefully in some weird way. So close your eyes. I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow morning and deciding all of your responsibilities today are going to be avoided. Yes! Take a day off. Ferris Bueller, baby. All right, so everybody start getting ready to go to the beach. What would you be putting in your bag? What would you be wearing? Where would you be going? What would you be imagining? Which beach are you going to? So everybody go to that beach. It's early morning, there's not too many people there, it's pretty quiet, the sun is just rising. Now you get to that beach, and you're very surprised to bump into John. Now when I say John, I want you to imagine somebody, whoever that is in your mind, whoever pops up. Is your ex-boyfriend named John? Did you have a teacher named John? Right? Do you have a friend named John? Are you John? Maybe there's a giant mirror, I don't know, but there's John. If you don't know a John, you can borrow John Travolta. I'm sure he won't mind. Or Jon Snow. Yeah, imagine Jon Snow. John, right? Johnny Depp, anyone, John. Imagine John. But imagine John sitting on top of a pink unicorn. Because why not? It's your imagination. So John is sitting on top of a pink unicorn, and John is naked for some reason, but he's wearing a pink cape. Naked John wearing a pink cape on top of a majestically pink unicorn. And John gets off of his high horse and starts walking towards you very aggressively, very angrily, and he's yelling at you. You can't quite make out what he's saying, but he's yelling and yelling and yelling, and as he gets closer, you can see his face is getting red. The veins are protruding from his forehead, and he's yelling angry at you. And he literally reaches up into the sky, rips the sun out of the sky, and hurls it towards your feet. Now you've got a giant ball of fire landing on your feet. Right? Everybody look down at your feet in your imagination and look, your feet are literally on fire because John threw the sun on your feet. Now everybody start running away. You're trying to escape from crazy John and his crazy pink unicorn. And as you're running away, you finally realize that you've escaped. You turn around and John or his unicorn are nowhere to be seen. And everybody fall down to your knees, desperately trying to catch your breath. You're exhausted, you're panting, and you feel something weird on your knees, right? So everybody touch your knees. There's something weird there. You're not so sure what it is. Now you take a closer look, and you've got miniature basketball players playing basketball on your knees, but not just any basketball team, the New York Knicks. You've got the 10 New York Knicks playing basketball on your knees. And I don't know if you heard about this, but recently they were purchased by Nicolas Cage, right? So you've got Nicolas Cage's New York Knicks playing basketball on your knees, and one of them nicked your watch. So the Knicks on your knees, one of them nicked your watch, you're freaked out, you brush them off really quickly, and you start running away again to get away from the New York Knicks. And as you're running away, you realize that your walking is very weird and hindered, and you can't really quite bend your legs properly. So everybody look down. If you're wearing shorts, maybe pull them up. If you're wearing a bikini, just look down and look at your legs, at your thighs. The area between your hips and your knees. Look at your thighs. And you no longer have human thighs. Maybe you accidentally bit down on some of that magic transformer pill because your thighs are miniature Ford trucks or cars, whatever Ford you like. Ford F-150, Ford Focus, Ford Fusion, whatever you like. Your thighs are literally 2 miniature Ford vehicles. Now take a moment to appreciate the color of these Ford vehicles. Are they older or are they newer? How are these Ford trucks? And you can't really walk properly because you got Ford trucks literally as your thighs. So you're freaked out and you're very, very excited because you notice in front of you there's a giant go-kart. There's a giant go-kart just sitting there on the beach. Not a shopping cart, right? Not a shopping cart, but a go-kart, right? A go-kart is there, and you jump in, the keys are in the ignition, and you feel very terribly about what you're about to do, but you're gonna you're gonna borrow the go-kart. You're gonna bring it back after, but you gotta get the hell out of here. So you're gonna borrow the go-kart, right? Not a Mario Kart, but like a very fast, right, powerful go-kart. Maybe it's a bit of a Mario Kart. Maybe there's some bananas in the back, I don't know. But you're jumping in the go-kart, but everybody, can you feel how hard that seat is on your butt? The hard plastic, and it was all heated up too because it's black and the sun finally started to heat it up. So your butt is incredibly hot, right? And it's incredibly uncomfortable from the hot seat. And can you feel the vibrations of the engine just going through your butt into your coccyx and just going up, shooting up into your spine? So your butt is uncomfortable, the vibrations are intense, it's hot, and it's very hard. So your butt is very uncomfortable on the go-kart. And you start driving away, hauling ass, pardon my French, and as you're driving, your stomach starts to rumble and grumble, and you start getting very, very, very thirsty and hungry. So you decide to go drive down to McDonald's because you got this really weird craving for McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. So you drive down to the nearest McDonald's, whatever that may be, maybe the one on Juarez, right, or whichever one, or if you can't imagine a McDonald's here, then drive down to your hometown. I don't care if you're from Germany or Amsterdam or Russia or Australia. That go-kart can drive over water. So drive to whichever McDonald's you want, any McDonald's you want, and as you get there, you drive straight through the glass window. You don't even have time to park. So you drive straight through the glass window, the glass shatters into a million pieces, and you drift into the lobby, and you dive out of the go-kart into a perfect double somersault in the pike position, and you land perfectly with Olympic grace on the counter. And you're very surprised to see in front of you, you've got Ronald McDonald himself. Ronald McDonald in all of his glory. The giant clown, Ronald McDonald, he's standing there, and as you look into his eyes, he looks deeply into yours, and he whispers angrily, "John sends his regards." Jon Snow sends his regards. And he pulls out an alien ray gun from under the counter, not an X-ray gun, right? An alien ray gun, right? And he shoots you square in the chest with his alien ray gun, right? So you've got this alien ray gun blasting you in the chest. You fly backwards and you land hard on your back. And you look down, and on your chest, you've got this giant bush of gray hair just sprouting out of your chest, right? Like just really, really bushy, gray hair sprouting out of your chest. More bush than a 70s Playboy magazine. Just a lot of bush just growing out of your chest. This gray bush, wise, wisdom, gray bush out of your chest. And you freak out, and you decide to get back on the go-kart and head home because this day is crazy, and screw this crazy Canadian guy and all those stories. I'm going home, I'm done. As you get home, there's something blocking your front door. You can't quite get in. There is a giant pile of mail, of letters. It looks like a giant pile of crap from Jurassic Park, like a giant pile of white letters of mail blocking your front door. You start opening them up. And as you open them up, you realize that all of your bills have been paid for the next 7 years. All of your bills have been paid for the next 7 years, right? So everybody touch your shoulders. Touch your shoulders. Where just a moment ago, those shoulders were feeling very stressed, right? A lot of anxiety, right? A lot of tension. Now, just can you feel all of that tension just melting away like butter on a hot summer day? Now, all that tension is melting away and your shoulders feel very relaxed because all of your bills, your electricity bills, your house bills, your utility bills, your medical bills, everything paid for the next 7 years, you're very excited and very relaxed. So you walk in, revitalized, refreshed, and invigorated, and you're feeling very relaxed now. Now, as you get home, you want to go to the bathroom to freshen up, and who would blame you after the crazy that you've had? And you're very surprised because in the bathroom, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you can't help but notice a giant bush of blonde hair growing out of your chin, like a very, very majestic goatee. But like not like a nice, sexy, suave goatee, but very, very bushy, right? Like a 70s Playboy magazine, but blonde bush. Blonde bush growing out of your chin, right? And you're very nervous because everybody's gonna be making blonde jokes about you now because you've got a blonde goatee, right? So bushy blonde goatee, it must have been a side blast from the alien ray gun. And then all of a sudden your mouth starts to move by itself and it starts getting very positive. And it says, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Not like Canada or a can of tuna, but yes, we can. Yes, we can. And then you hear a noise behind you and you turn around and in your own bathtub, you've got, or if you don't have a bathtub, wherever your shower is, you've got Donald Duck. Your favorite childhood cartoon, Donald Duck. And he betrays all the love, trust, and admiration you once had for him because he's holding a golden trumpet and he pokes out both of your eyes with his golden trumpet and he goes, whoa. Any questions? All right, what the hell did we learn now? Okay, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Who do you see in the beginning of the story on the beach? John. And how does John welcome you? What does John do to you?
He's on a unicorn.
And what does he do to you?
He's wearing a cape and he's angry and he walks out.
Very good. I love it. A lot of details. Then what happens?
He yells at me?
Yeah, and now look at your feet. What happens to your feet?
Oh, they're on fire.
Why?
The sun comes down.
John threw the sun on your feet. John with the sun. John with the sun. John with the sun. Anybody hear a name there? Johnson. President Johnson. 10 U.S. presidents ago, in the U.S. they had Johnson. All right, so Johnson. Now move up to your knees. What was on your knees? Do you remember? The basketball players. Which basketball players? The Knicks, right? The New York Knicks. And who bought the New York Knicks? Nicolas Cage. And what did one of them do to you? He stole your watch. He nicked your watch, right? So the Knicks. President Nixon. Excelente. Now, it's not exactly Nixon, but you've got Knicks in your knees, on your knees. You can play around with it, right? But it's enough to give you a trigger, enough to give you an anchor, right? So Nixon. Now move up to your thighs. What happened to your thighs? What did you have on your thighs when you were walking away? Yeah, trucks. What kind of trucks?
F-150.
Yeah, Ford F-150, fix or repair daily, Ford, right? So you had Ford trucks, right? Take a moment to imagine, do you remember the color? Do you remember the make, the model, the year, right? So you had Ford trucks. So President, Ford, excelente. Now tell me about your butt. How is your butt feeling when you... Why? What are you sitting on? A hard chair in the... Go-kart. Cart. President? Carter. Excelente. Carter. Excellent. Now your stomach is rumbling. Where does your stomach bring you to? Where do you drive to eat? McDonald's. And who do you see at McDonald's after you land your perfect backflip? Ronald McDonald's. And how does he greet you? With a ray gun. Ronald with a ray gun? That one just writes itself. Come on. Ronald with a ray gun. Right? Ronald Reagan. Now he shoots you in the chest. And what happens on your chest? What's growing out of your chest? Yes, and like, how do you describe this hairy on your chest? The hairy chest. It's very bush. It's very bushy. And the color of this bush? Gray. Gray bush would be? President Bush Senior. Excelente. The wise bush, right? Or the wiser bush. And then you get home. Everybody touch your shoulders. What's on your shoulders? How do your shoulders feel? Relax. Why? You had a crazy day. All of your debt, also known as all of your bills. Your bills have been paid for 7 years. Excellent. A lot of random details that don't make any sense and they're not important, but it's good that you remember them, right? So all your bills are paid. So Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, excelente. A little trigger, Bill Clinton. Now, what's on your chin? Blonde goatee. And how would you describe it? Bushy. So blonde bush would be? The younger bush. Excelente, excelente. Now your mouth starts moving and it's being very positive and your mouth is yelling out, yes we can, yes we can. Which is Obamacare, yes we can, yes we can. And then you turn around and who is standing in your bathtub or in your shower betraying your confidence? Donald Duck. And what does he do to your eyes? Too many things. Oh, wow. Interesting imagination. He stabs him with a trumpet. Donald Duck with a trumpet? Donald Duck with a trumpet? Donald Trump. Excelente. So you've got my phone number memorized in the last 10 US presidents. Congratulations. Now, if you can memorize the last 10 US presidents with, don't get me wrong, most likely most of you don't really care. Right? So it's completely useless information. But if you're all we're just now able to memorize 10 names in order, in chronological order, right? If you think you can be able to memorize the next 10 baristas, the next 10 taxi drivers, the next 10 cops, the next 10 pretty girls or handsome guys, right? I think if you do the 10 US presidents, I think you can handle real people's names. And the beauty of this is if you put them on a physical location like your body or a place, you can get the order down, right? So you can do your feet, Johnson, right? Your knees, Nixon. Your thighs, Ford, right? Your butt, Carter, right? Your stomach's bringing to McDonald, Ronald Reagan, right? Your chest, right? Gray Bush. Your shoulders, Bill Clinton. Your chin, young Bush. Your mouth, Obama. And your eyes, Donald Trump. You can work your way forwards and backwards, and it doesn't matter. Excelente. Let's see how we're doing on time so we can get this. All right. Now, we're going to go into a little bit specific situations, specific things that you can use to get out of trouble with the cops. Ah, yes. Mazel tov. No worries. Actually, right before we do this, let's just go one step back. Another really cool thing to be very playful is learn some jokes. Learn some jokes in a language, Spanish if you want to learn Spanish, or whichever other language you're interested in. And it's a great, because it's a universal connector. Everybody loves jokes. And the beauty is if you tell a joke in a foreign language and they don't laugh very hard, you can just say, oh man, that was so much funnier in my language. Even if it's not. Now, if you learn one new joke every week and you tell it to everybody you're going to see that week, right? You might tell it to 10 people, you might tell it to a few hundred people, depending on how social you are, right? Or one person, doesn't matter. That one person will be the most important person of that week because you'll tell him that joke or you'll tell her that joke, right? So learn a little joke. And then if you say it a couple hundred times, ideally, or you say it a few times with a lot of emotion, every single word of that joke will be locked into your brain forever. To this day, I still think about some of the jokes that I learned in 2016 to learn a new word. I still remember some of the songs that I memorized in 2016, and I used to have to sing, like, how do I say today? Tengo que bailar contigo. Hoy. Right? Who has to sing the alphabet to know alphabetical order? I still do it. And I'm a brain coach. But who cares? If it works, right? If you don't need, I don't start at A, right? I've got key points where I start, okay? Right? So learn a little joke. Here's a fun one that everybody could use in every time you go to a restaurant. And you're gonna make the waiter or the waitress laugh, and you're gonna make them smile, which is what it's all about. Sharing the gift of joy and laughter and playfulness, making somebody feel good and feel happy, and at the same time, you get to train your brain. Who thinks that's a win-win? A huevo, way! All right, so a couple little small jokes that you can learn. I'm gonna send a little recap of today, and we're gonna have it recorded so we can revisit them, and I'll try to send the jokes as well, so you guys can practice them and learn them. If you were in a restaurant and you want to order a tea, you might say, how would you order a tea? Quisiera comprar un té, me gustaría un té, quiero un té, té, porfis? Right? You can order it a million ways. So you order a tea. What's the most likely question? What's the question that they're most likely going to ask you? What kind of tea do you want? ¿Qué tipo de té quieres? ¿Qué tipo de té quieres? And you look them straight in the eyes and you say, quererte, or amarte, which means to love you, to want you. Quererte. They will laugh so hard, it's hilarious, right? So the word te, it means tea, it also means you. It's the same word, right? Tea with an accent over the E is the drink, and te means you. So by saying, right, quererte, you're changing the meaning of the beginning of that sentence to, I would like you, please. And they say, well, what kind of you would you like? To love you, right? And if you go there a couple of times and they're like really nice and they're really friendly and they're like helping you out, right? You just look them straight in the eyes one day and you say, vives en mi corazón y nunca pagas la renta. You live in my heart and you never pay the rent. They love that. It's hilarious. You will. Cheesy is great. Cheesy is great, right? Right? You're not trying anything. You're not trying to get special treatment. You're not trying to do anything. You are just sharing some laughter, sharing. I use this all the time, and people always laugh, or they at least go, "Oh, you. Oh, you." Right? If you're leaving a party, or you're leaving the restaurant, you're leaving the taxi, you're leaving anywhere, you just look at them and you say, me voy, pero me quedo en tu corazón. I'm leaving, but I'm remaining in your heart. All right, so that's enough for those little random jokes. But it's an endless list. There's so many jokes out there. There's hilarious jokes out there. There's short ones, there's long ones, and there's easy ones, and there's complicated ones, right? Find a joke that makes you laugh, and that the vocabulary is more or less where you're already at, maybe a little bit above, so it's like a little bit of a challenge, but not so hard where it's gonna kind of, give you anxiety. And the first most important saying that you're gonna ever learn in your life is, how are you? I'm asking you, how are you? No, better than that. You can do better. Fresca como lechuga. Excelente. Fresca como lechuga is very, very, very important. It makes you laugh. It makes people laugh. It saved me and my students literally thousands of dollars, and has been responsible for several relationships. And I owe it all to the lettuce. I owe it all to the lettuce. Now, my brain works in weird ways. I'm a very, very lazy person, but I'm also a bit of a perfectionist. I like things to be done properly, which has generated a lot of weird mixed emotions in my life. I don't want to do anything, but I want it to be done properly. right? And I've noticed that my brain is very good at identifying patterns, right? At synthesizing, identifying patterns, and simplifying them in ways that my brain and other people's brains can understand them, right? So when I was learning Spanish, I decided that I wanted to learn with a bit of a different approach. I didn't have time to take lessons. I was working 6 days a week, 10, 15-hour days. I didn't have time for boring lessons and I didn't want to. So I decided that every day would be my classroom. Every interaction would be a lesson. Every person I speak with would be my teacher. And then when I got to that basic conversational level, I wanted to take things to the next level. So I decided, I didn't decide, the universe decided that I lost my license plate. Like, I was missing a screw and I kind of put something and it didn't work and I dropped it and it got lost. So I was gonna have to take a day off work to go to the license bureau and get a new license and waste an entire day of my life doing that. And I didn't want to do that. So I decided to figure out how could I make this serve me in some way so that I don't have to do this. And I said, well, if I drive my motorcycle without a license plate, I will get pulled over a lot, and I will be able to practice my Spanish in high-stress situations. So I did that, and it seemed like a great idea at the time. So for 6 months, I drove my motorcycle without a license plate, and I get pulled over like twice a week. But it worked wonders. My Spanish got really good, and I got really good at getting out of trouble with cops, right? And then I've been able to synthesize a lot of that knowledge for you tonight, so you're welcome. I did it for you. I didn't always get away with it, though. I would say about 60% of the time, I would get off with a warning. So I did have to pay 40% of the time, but 40% of the time, I only had to pay 200 pesos maximum was the going rate. Maximum 200 pesos. So let's do the math here. About 6 months, so that's about let's say 25 weeks, make the math easier to do. 25 weeks, right? So I got pulled over like 50 times, right? And I only had to pay 20 times. 20 pesos. It's like $200, right? People spend much more money than that on Spanish lessons, right? And I got a lot of extra additional bonus value out of that, thank you very much. Although once I had to pay 500 pesos. I'll tell you that story a little bit later because it's perfect. I had to use all of my tricks. And I still had to pay 500 pesos. But at least it's better than 1,000, better than going to jail, right? All right, so all that knowledge has been synthesized, and we're going to get to that in just a little moment. Doing great on time. Excelente. So yeah, go back to some of the important things that we're going to say. Fresco Lechuga is the most important. Another one that's really, really, really fun to use is, how do you say hell yeah, dude? A huevo way. A huevo way. Some people say that it's swearing, but it's not really swearing. It's literally egg. It's to egg, dude. To egg, dude. Right? But it kind of means like hell yeah, dude, or like fuck yeah, dude. Right? So if you're not Mexican and you say a huevo way, it's hilarious. Can you imagine you speaking to like some random person who's obviously not a native English speaker, and maybe they speak a little bit of English, maybe they speak no English, and they're just like, fuck yeah, dude! But without being vulgar, right? So it's a little cleaner, it's hilarious. Use that, use Fresco como lechuga 10 times this week, use a huevo way 10 times this week, and the other one is, imagine you were the best boxer in the world. You're the best, the champion, the world champion of boxing. And everybody knows when somebody fought you because their chin is gone. Like completely like knocked straight off. You got a whole like lineup of chinless opponents in your wake. Because 5 minutes in the ring with you and their chin gone. Their chin gone. Chin gone. Chin gone means like and awesome, like yeah, it means like fuck yeah, it means like awesome, it means great, it means fantastic. So, like some old waiter asks you, how's your soup going today? Chingon. Oh shit, it's like the shit. It's the shit. So it's hilarious when you use it. So chingon, and you could even say chingon way. The way you can use it, you can use the dude. The dude gets used a lot. So chingon way. A huevo way, and a huevo way, imagine, wait, was Puma from The Lion King? And his friend's name? Timon, Timon. And Timon asked him, hey, do you want a beer? And he says, a weboe. A weboe, a weboe, a weboe, a weboe. A weboe. So a weboe, hell yeah, dude. A web away, like Spider-Man sending his web away. A web away, go web, go. A web away, a web away. So a web away, right? Fuck yeah, dude, hell yeah, dude. Chingon way, like the shit. Awesome, great. Chingon way. How's your soup doing? Chingon way, right? And fresh as lettuce. Fresco como lechuga. Fresca for a woman and fresco for a man. So depending on however you identify, you can use the O or the A. Fresco, fresca, right? All right. Back to the bribery. Every single principle that we've learned so far, everything that we've learned so far is applicable in every situation, including when you're in a situation with the cops, right? So what was the first thing that I mentioned, the first visual that we had in the beginning?
Boy Buddha floating.
Boy Buddha floating around. Ah, excelente, round of applause. Right? So, Boy Buddha flying around, what do you want to be?
Humble.
Humble. What else do you want to be? Playful. And flowing, because everything is just happening effortlessly. Don't try anything. You don't want anything, you don't need anything, you're just flowing with the flow. Very good. So be humble, be playful, and go with the flow. Don't expect anything, just see what happens, right? That if you have no expectations, then you can't fail. If you end up in jail, that's a fun experience maybe, right? I mean, maybe not at the time, but 20 years from now when you're having drinks with your friends, right? You'll be like, have you ever been in a Mexican jail? Well, I have. I've learned some shit. My chin is gone. Chin gone. So be playful, be humble, right? Who here thinks that cops are assholes? Right? I personally don't, but maybe some of them are. But you know what? It doesn't matter if they're assholes or not. If you in your head imagine that all the cops are really great, right? Visualize that all the cops are great and they're all going to love you and nobody wants to give you any tickets. Nobody wants to cost you money. Every cop wants to help you because they're all nice cops and we live in a butterfly world. How amazing would that be? Right? I choose to believe that. I've heard plenty of stories, and from what people tell me, a lot of cops are assholes. I've had thousands of interactions with cops. I haven't had one single bad interaction. I haven't met one asshole cop. I've had fun, I've had jokes, I've had laughs, I've had fun experiences. Thousands of interactions, not one single asshole. Maybe I'm lucky? Or maybe the flying baby Buddha works. Be playful, be humble, and just don't try so hard. Just go with the flow, right? Start every conversation with ¿Cómo estás? And fresco como lechuga, right? And the giant lettuce, what did he have? Giant ears, right? So like listen, right? If you remember their name, the next time they pull you over, you're definitely not getting a ticket. I'm telling you that right now, right? Memorize cops' names. They just stop by, right? Practice. Stop on the street and talk to the cops and see that they're not assholes and be playful with them and ask them their names and ask them weird questions, right? I wanted to know, I like to drive my motorcycle through cars and I noticed that nobody else does. And I was gonna look it up and see if it's illegal. And I was like, why don't I just ask a cop? And just like, hey, how are you? Fresco Monachuga, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what's your name? Yeah, by the way, is it illegal to drive through cars? Because nobody's doing it. And he's like, looks at his partner and he's like, no, she could. She can go away. So, right, have plenty of interactions, practice with them, and you'll notice that if you're playful with them, they're going to be playful with you. They're going to laugh back. They could be jerks to anybody. They could steal money from anybody. They can really give a bad time and take advantage of a lot of people. But not you. because you're fresh as lettuce. And nobody wants to take the freshness away from your lettuce, right? So go in with that mentality that you're a great person, you're fun and playful and humble, they're great people, they're fun, playful and humble. Actually, they're not really humble, but you know, be formal a little bit. You can say usted, como está usted, right? Fresca como lechuga, right? Now, there's a couple of things as you're being playful and being fun, and they say, oh, right, speak Spanish. Doesn't matter if you only know 3 words. It doesn't matter how much Spanish you know. They appreciate the effort so much. They appreciate any effort that you're putting. There's so many, right, gringos or expats or people that have been living here for 30 years or 100 years, right? Probably not 100 years for a few different reasons, but many, many years, right? And they don't know any Spanish at all. Just the fact that you made a little bit of effort to respect their culture, to learn their words, their language, you're sending a message to them that you care, that you're a good person, and they're going to laugh and they're going to appreciate you. So there's so many good reasons, right? So once you get them laughing with the fresco como lechuga, where you've asked them, right, maybe a couple questions, you maybe had a bit of, you know, back and forth, a lot of times they're going to just let you go. Even if you did something wrong, they'll just let you go. It's really cool. They don't care. They can get somebody else in trouble afterwards, right? They can see that you've learned the error of your ways, that you've learned your lesson. Even the same cops that pulled me over several times with the license plate, they still let me go. It's crazy. They want to just keep your lettuce fresh. Now, it doesn't always work that way. We don't always live in the magical sunshine world of the Care Bears, right? So sometimes they're going to want something from you, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do to play around and be playful and be smart and get out with a warning or just with a small bribe. Now, first of all, I'm not sure how inflation is going. I haven't been pulled over in a while, but I'm pretty sure the going rate, precio local, is about 200 pesos. Anybody have anything to say yet? 200 pesos sounds, all right. 200 pesos still good? All right. So, if they really want to get you a ticket or they really want something from you, they'll probably say like, oh, I'm going to keep your license plate, or I'm going to keep your driver's license, or I'm going to keep your ID, I'm going to keep something, or blah, 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 or it's going to be very expensive for you, or it's going to be, right? The more they talk about how it's going to be really bad for you, the more you know that they're bribable. Yeah. I've only met 2 cops that have not been able to bribe. Actually, no, one, where I actually got a ticket. But he didn't actually put it into the system because I tried to pay it with the code and everything, and it was ticket not found. So I think he gave me that ticket, but he didn't put, and he said, you know, for you, I should keep your driver license, but I'm going to give it back to you. So technically, never got a ticket. Mm-hmm. So once you've identified that, okay, they're definitely looking for something, right? You want to be you don't want to be direct, right? You got to test the waters out a bit, right? You don't want to get any trouble. So you say like, me pareces muy listo, or eres muy listo, right? You're very clever. No hay otra forma que podríamos arreglar eso? Is there not another form that we could arrange this? We can maybe, you know, to avoid me having to go to the police station to pay, right? And you can say it in English too, it's fine. At this point, once you've broken the ice with the lettuce and they're laughing with you, and they've seen that you know some Spanish, you can speak in English. It's fine. So isn't there another way that we can kind of rearrange this? You know, you seem like a very smart person. And then I say, well, what do you have in mind? Right? And then, I mean, not to get in trouble, like, well, so I don't have to pay at the police station, can I just pay now? Right? That's clever, right? Because you're not saying anything wrong. You don't know how the system works here. You're not Mexican, right? Or even if you are, maybe you never got a ticket before. So can I pay now? Is that an option? And then sometimes they'll ask you. Sometimes it gets very obvious that it's going to be a bribe. So they're going to say like, okay, well, what did you have in mind? And then a really fun thing to say is, well, normally they charge me 200 pesos. That always gets a laugh. Like, what do you mean normally? Right? You might also say, te echo la mano, me echas la mano. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I throw you a hand, you throw me a hand, right? Or algo para el refresco. Something for the soft drink, right? Like it's like a hot summer day, you look a little parched, right? Maybe can I help you out with a little soft drink money? It's not a bribe, it's soft drink. Come on, guys. Get around, beat around the bush a little bit, right? If they try to charge you more, it's negotiable. Like Playa, everything's negotiable, right? Taxi fare is negotiable, police fare is negotiable. Sometimes they'll try 1,000 and always go, oh, 1,000 pesos. 1,000, so much money. I don't have that. How am I gonna eat tonight? My kids will starve, right? So they're gonna try and highball you. Maybe you lowball them. 50 pesos, 50 pesos, right? Then you meet at 200. Don't start at 200, start lower, right? 50 pesos, 50 pesos, and then what? Work you at the 200. So be playful, use all these different things. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Te echo la mano, me echas la mano. Algo para el refresco, right? Hope there's no cops listening. I'm gonna have to get us some new material now. Now, I'm going to tell you a story where the time when I had to pay 500 pesos, I had to use all of my arsenal. And it was in 2018, end of 2017. And I had a friend visiting from Canada, and he wanted to ride on my motorcycle. And I said, bro, I'm tired, I only have one helmet, it's like tomorrow. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow. Next time. Come on, bro, just want to ride on a motorcycle. So I was like, all right, we'll go one block, and that's it.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. So he got on, I gave him my helmet, and we went one block, and there were 4 cops. Yeah. So they pulled me over and said, look, let me do the talking. ¿Cómo están? ¿Frescos como lechuga? A little bit of a laugh, a little here and there. Not a great reaction, but it was good. I had my foot through the door, right? So we started talking, joking around a little bit. They always ask, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Soy un gringo de Canadá. And I know that gringos don't come from Canada, but it's funny. Because gringos is a word for like American, right? So I'm an American from US, and they're like, what? Right? So it gets them confused a little bit. So we're joking around a little bit, getting a little playful, right? Being playful, being humble, right? Listening, speaking. And then it got to the point where he was saying that he's going to have to keep my driver's license, and it's going to be very expensive, and blah, blah. And I asked him, is there another way that we can work a way around this? He seemed like a very smart person to me. And he said, what did you have in mind? And I said, te echo la mano y me echas la mano. And he said, well, what do you mean by that? Algo para el refresco? And they started laughing a little bit. And then he said, okay. ¿Cuánto estabas pensando? How much were you thinking? And I said, normalmente me cobran 200 pesos. Normally they charge me 200 pesos. And the two of the people in the back were laughing, and he was like, what do you mean, normally? And then he was like, look, this is a very particular situation. There's 4 of us, 200 pesos, that's 50 pesos each. I looked him straight in the eye. Now, if you are playful and humble, you can be a jerk. You can say, no, you can't be a jerk. You can say something mean, and it will land properly because it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from your inner asshole. It's coming from you being humble and playful, right? So he said 50 pesos each. It's not a lot. I looked at him straight in the eye and I said, con todo respeto, señor, eso me suena como problema de ustedes. With all due respect, sir, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. My friend didn't understand what was going on, but they started laughing their asses off. Right? I figured it was like all in or all out. Like it's either gonna end really well or it's gonna end terribly, right? And they all laughed. It was funny. I was like, whew, all right, that was. So he looked at me and he said, okay, look, for you, 500 pesos and we'll let you go. And I said, oh, 500 pesos. Es mucho dinero. ¿Cómo voy a comer esta noche? Mis hijos, ¿cómo van a comer? How are my kids going to eat tonight? It's a lot of money, 500 pesos. So then we started talking about something else, right? Get off topic. Talk about something else, little joke. We start talking. And then there was a girl officer walks around. And she says, Felipe, ¿dónde está tu placa? Where is your license plate? So I looked him straight in the eye, and with a high-pitched voice, I said, 500 pesos? 500 pesos, you said? And I pulled out the 500. They all started laughing really hard. They didn't even charge me anymore. They took the 500 pesos. They said, have a nice day. My friend didn't understand what was going on, but he said that was hilarious. I'm telling you, it's as long as you stay playful, and obviously I wouldn't start with that, right? Not like, hey, hola, ¿cómo está? Right? No. Like, I already identified that they were laughing, they were kind of cool, right? It was like hit or miss, and I mean, worst case, I've never been to Mexican jail.
Oh. Again, don't do it. I'm not good for you, babe.
Any questions so far? What we've seen? ¿Alguna pregunta? Any questions? All right. How? Yes.
Well, it's kind of not with that though. It's with the names, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to learning names, do you do the story thing like every time someone tells you their names?
Yes. Exactly. What's your name again?
Alex.
Alec. So I could imagine you French kissing Alec Baldwin, right? Or Alec. Alec. Oh, yeah. I can literally imagine myself walking up to and licking his cheek, right? Which is really weird, and it's a really weird visual. But
That's why you'll remember it.
yeah, if you like, I always tell my students, like, I found out a long time ago that it's easier for me to traumatize my students than it is to teach them. Because if you teach somebody something, they might forget it. If you traumatize somebody, they have to pay a professional to get rid of that memory, right? So you walk up to him. Everybody imagine walking up to Alec and just asking him, please, all I want is one lick. I want a lick. I want a lick a day, right? I want one lick, a lick. And then just imagine a big lick. Oh, and it's like really drooly too, right? Right? And then he bumps into Alec Baldwin, right? And then he gets really, really famous, and they call him Alexander the Great. Is your last name Xander? No, but now it is. His last name is Xander, because it's Alexander. And you want Alec from Alexander, and then Alec Baldwin, right? So, I mean, when you're shaking somebody's hand or you're meeting somebody and they give you their name, right? Repeat it a couple of times and say, oh, interesting. Like, I never heard that name before, or what does it sound? Or like repeat it, or say like, oh, Alec. You mean like a lick? Right? And then they're gonna be like, what? Nothing. Right? But you just bought yourself like 5 seconds, or like maybe more if it was really awkward, right? Like, especially if you're speaking to somebody named Dick, like that, you might get 10 seconds or 20 seconds of awkwardness. I'm just saying, some names are easier to remember than others, okay? All right? So, by repeating their name, by asking a question about their name, right? By looking them into their eyes and making a very specific mental intention to remember their name, and by even telling them, I tell people sometimes, I mean, it depends on how freaky the connection is, but I'll tell sometimes, and that gives your brain time to process it, right? And then, at another point in the night, just randomly think about them and say, oh, that was Alec, yeah, boom. And then you walk away, then again, Alec. Then when you're leaving the party and you're saying bye to 30 people, right, you can say bye to everybody by name because you've repeated their names in your head at least 3 times each, right, at different moments, right? So very good question. So make eye contact, right, repeat the name if you can, ask a question about the name, right, make a weird association, tell it to them if you can, right, repeat it. And you're gonna get, now obviously in the beginning, it's gonna be a bit difficult for some names, right? Right? Some names are just not conducive to funny stories yet. But as you practice and develop it, you're gonna actually develop your brain, and you're gonna get really, really good at creative problem solving and lateral thinking. So your brain will be able to connect dots. And I've noticed that over the last 17 years, very progressively, I've noticed that I'm able to solve a lot of things, like logistical problems at work, or things like, I'm able to connect 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 things that shouldn't go together and connect them into one thing that's very functional, and it solves the problem, right? It's not something that I was born with, but this is like a side effect, because as you're connecting different things and connecting different dots, you're developing the skill set, and your brain is getting big, giant, poco a poco. Very good question. Any other questions?
So, how do you reduce
How do I what?
Reduce taxi fares.
Oh yeah, so same thing. Like when you meet them or when you bump in, when you say "Hola, cómo está? Fresca como lechuga?" Boom, get them to laugh, and then try to learn your numbers in Spanish. That helps, but it doesn't have to, right? At the end of the day, the prices are local prices are for everyone, right? There is no tourist price. There is a fair price, and there's them trying to get more money out of you, right? Yeah, so the first thing you need to know is you need to know your prices, right? Anywhere, like a short trip is like 30, 40 pesos, max, a short trip. Anywhere in Playa shouldn't really cost more than 50 pesos, right? Even sometimes like going out like a 15-minute drive like to like some of like the condominiums outside, it's still like 75, 100 pesos maximum, right? So even like a 15-minute drive is 100 pesos. So anywhere in Playa is pretty much 50. Now, if you're on Fifth Avenue, right, that's like the mafia sitio, they're gonna try to charge you 300 pesos, 400 pesos. You walk up 2 blocks till 10th, you might get good prices, you might not. And when you get to 15, you're out of the tourist like zone. 15 and up, you'll get a much better shot at getting your local prices. So know your prices, and as they tell you the price, say, "Oh, muy caro." Descuento local. Soy local, right?
So, much to what you said about humor, I say no quiero pegar precios gringos.
Yes, very good humor. No quiero pagar precios gringos. I don't want to pay gringo prices, right? Get them to laugh, right? You know, point it out. They're charging you the tourist prices. Say, no quiero pagar precios gringos, right? Say, quiero descuento local y quiero descuento de loco, right? There's so many different ways. There's a million ways. Just be playful, be humble, and flow. Don't try, just flow with it, right? Start with ¿Cómo estás? Fresco como lechuga, right? So, like with taxes, I don't really have time. I'll just say, ¿Cómo está? Fresco como lechuga? Excelente. ¿Cuánto para? And then boom. ¿Cuánto para? Right? If you do it in Spanish, if you just literally memorize like that beginning, hola, ¿cómo estás? Fresco como lechuga? ¿Cuánto para 15 con 20? Whatever. Just memorize that. If you speak fast enough, they won't even think about the color of your skin. They'll just like assume that you live here because you're so confident. So practice it at home 100 times as well, that helps. Or just be playful and just refuse. And then sometimes I'll have to just get out of the taxi. They don't always give me the discount. I'll have to just say, okay, no, I'm gonna go, I don't agree with this.
Or don't ask, and you'll never have to ask.
I do that sometimes. I'll just go in and then I just hand them 50 pesos. And that works, that works a lot for me, but I met one person that had a problem with that. So I
Central Maya, Walmart, Plaza Las Americas, the hospital, they have to pay to get in.
Yeah, there's certain sitios, yeah. So, I mean, that one, if you're feeling like lucky and you know, I do that sometimes and it works very well, but be careful with that. So be playful, be fun, excelente. Now, I'm gonna put you guys to the test. Who would like a free access link to my online course? You already have my online course. But actually, that could be great. You can have it for you, or you can give it to somebody. All right? I'm going to put you to the test. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have my Fast Track to Fluency. It's a 15-hour course. Go from pretty much any level to handling a basic conversation. Obviously, you need to practice afterwards, but it's all the foundation, all the framework that you need to handle a basic conversation, right? And after you're gonna practice it. You have all the verb tenses, the essential verb tenses that you're gonna need reformatted into a couple of minutes. Every single verb tense, even the subjunctive and the complicated ones, you can learn it in a couple of minutes and then practice it to reinforce it. But to learn it, a couple of minutes, right? So I do the live courses. I have one June 10, 11, 12. If anybody is interested. I also have the online course and I have an advanced course. So I'm gonna give away tonight a free access to my online course. How are we going to choose the person? Number, yes, excelente.
Red hair.
All right, I'm gonna think of a number between 1 and 100, and everybody just keep repeating that. Oh wait, I haven't thought about it yet. Give me a second. I like where you're going with this. Let me think of a number. Okay, I have a number. From 1 to 100, just keep repeating it over and over again until I think I hear it.
33. 69.
No.
72.
34, 22, 22, 68,
What?
98.
What? What? No. What? No, come on, keep going.
27.
What?
27.
27. Yeah. Did you? Okay, you both have a chance. Come up. Come up. Yeah. See. I thought I heard you say 27, but it's a 47, huh? Yeah. Oh yeah, you're still trapped? Here. All right. Perfect. This is close. I hope everybody paid attention in the beginning. We're gonna see who can remember my phone number.
Oh, 98. Oh. 98.
Well, no helping, no helping. Come on. You have to say it forwards. You have to say it forwards and backwards.
Okay, 984.
984.
Oh, Lord. Okay, hold on. So body's from the bottom to the top. We got going on 4. I know there's a 4
Yeah.
somewhere. 69.
Okay, but try to remember the order of the story.
Okay.
So after you leave Germany, where do you go?
Amsterdam.
I go to Amsterdam.
No, I can't help her.
Yeah.
We can do it together as a family.
You both can win.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so we've got Amsterdam.
984.
Uh-huh.
2, 5. Right?
Yeah.
2, 5. But then where were we at with 5?
After,
4.
what did you do? What did you do with 25?
25
Oh,
cents.
we squished it up.
25 cents.
Yeah, and then it became what?
It became a little squid. No,
Yeah.
octopus.
Oh,
The 25 became what?
25.
It turned into
Yeah.
And what did you do 25 cents?
Put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Where are you when you leave Germany? Where do you go to? When you left Germany, where did you go to?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's where you get the 25 cents. In the what? What establishment was it?
There's a little guy.
In the bubblegum machine. What did you get in the bubblegum machine?
69.
69. All right, yes, all right. And then when you went in, what did you see?
3
3, yes?
something.
You saw the tricycle and then,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and then
that
there was-
little creepy
There
puppet.
was 2 unicorns.
yeah. And what were the 2 unicorns in?
In the four-wheeler.
In the four-wheeler? And what button did you hit?
4-wheel drive. 4.
4. All right, so again, what's my phone number?
984.
2,
25.
5, 4.
4.
No, after 25?
2, 5,
25.
3.
No. It was
4.
After the 25?
25. 69.
69?
4.
Before that?
Wait. Before 25.
9, 4, 4.
What's before?
25.
3. 3.
Yes.
6, 9,
3,
4, 4.
6, 9, 4, 4.
See?
Is that wrong?
9,
Okay.
4.
984.
2, 5.
25.
3.
What do you do with the quarter?
You shrink it down.
And then,
And then you. God. Put it in the machine and you get 69.
you get 69.
You get
Yeah.
69.
3, 6,
69.
9, 4, 4. Right?
But there's no 3 yet. You don't need the 3 yet.
6, 9.
No,
6, 9.
25 gives you the.
69.
All right.
2, 5, 6, 9, 4, 4. 3, 4, 4.
Okay, once more from the beginning. That was good.
Oh,
2, 5, 6, 9, 3, 4, 4. Okay.
9, 8, 4.
984.
9, 8, 4.
5.
2, 5, 6, 9, 3, 4, 4.
Yes. Once more.
Okay, 984, 25, 3, 6,
What do you do with the 25?
25, 6, 9,
Yes.
2, 4, 4.
Close.
3,
Once more.
3, 4.
3, 4, 4.
Okay, all from the beginning.
Oh, 9, 8, 4. 9, 8, 4.
Yes.
Standing in front of people.
I know. Okay, 9, 8, 4, 2, 5, 6, 9, 3, 4, 4.
Yes. Now try backwards.
Oh. 4, 4.
4, 4.
3.
3.
5, 2.
Oh,
No. 9, 6.
yeah, 9, 6.
5, 2.
5, 2.
5, 2. 8, 9.
Missing one.
Fuck.
4, 8, 4, 8,
4.
8, 9.
4, 8, 9. All for the. All right, once more. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Numbers are not my thing.
I know, I'm
Backwards.
trying to grab it. Okay.
4, 4.
4, 4.
3,
3.
3.
9.
9.
6. 5.
5,
2.
4,
4.
8.
8, 9.
Yes! Excelente. So you see, you might think, oh my God, it's so hard to do it backwards. Backwards and forwards is the same when you're using these tricks.
It's easier.
It's, well, I mean, it's a little bit easier forward. But,
I have dysgraphia,
but,
so I do numbers
oh,
Yeah, me too. My dyslexia was like,
so dyslexia and what?
dysgraphia.
Dysgraphia, and you both got it in the end. Congratulations. What do we say? A huevo, way! Excelente. So, but here's the true test. If you want the course, you got to send me a WhatsApp.
She's like, I got you, baby.
Send me a WhatsApp and I'll send you the access link. Anybody has any questions, you can come and see me after. You can send me a message on WhatsApp. You guys all have my phone number. You don't need it backwards, but you can do it.
plus 52.
It's plus 52, yes, plus 52, right? Mexican number. You can also check me out, hit me up on Facebook, Speak Like a Local, or Phil Arsenault. Instagram, speak.like.local. And if somebody can help me, si alguien me puede ayudar con la televisión, porfa? Guys, alguien? I'm not sure how this... So you guys can also scan here, or my website is speaklikealocal15.com. I hope you guys have had a great time and learned some things. Muchas gracias, a huevo, wey, chingón, and I hope that you all stay fresco, como... Un placer. Excelente.